What's going on, internet? It's your boy Scootaloo here, and you know what I'm here for. Let's talk about SmackDown, and let's talk about Rampage. SmackDown was a tape show. It was because Crown Jewel is today. Yes, I'm recording on a Saturday. Crown Jewel is today, so SmackDown was taped. Uh, Still had some interesting segments, but you can definitely tell it was missing certain star power, I guess, in a sense. But let's go through it. It opens up Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville, no DQ match. Um, Pretty standard affair. Um, Liv is now, embracing her more extreme, kind of darker side and willing to do what she needs to do. So she was willing to bump herself all over. But ultimately, Liv Morgan hits Oblivion on some chairs, gets the W over Sonya Deville. We get Ricochet versus LA Knight. Um, Once again, pretty standard match. LA Knight uses the dirty pin. He pulls tights and grabs the rope to get the W. Viking Raiders once again has a promo teasing, I guess, their rebirth along with Sarah Logan. So whenever that happens, we get a Bray Wyatt promo backstage of him talking because, he's supposed to be a crown jewel. So he was backstage talking. And I guess he's kind of conflicted, especially with Uncle Howdy showing up. And, he was saying some stuff, and then a person backstage, I think they told him to hurry up or we're live or something. And he started getting in the guy's face and was ready to beat the dude up and everything. And cooler head prevailed and all that. But we'll see where they're going with this character with Bray. We'll see where they're going. Bloodline comes out there, has a promo because Sami Zayn tried to stop them from going out there and doing a promo. But then Jay was like, fam, we got to remind these people who the Usos are. And Jimmy was like, hey, I agree. So the Usos come out. They're approaching the record-setting longest days as tag team champions because, New Day dethroned Demolition with 483. And the Usos are approaching it. So as the Usos are talking, New Day comes out. And New Day tells Usos, if y'all get past the Brutes, we got next because we'll be damned if we let our record just go so easily. So New Day and Usos get into it. And then, actually, no, I'm sorry. The Brutes sneak up behind the Usos and it turns into a 4-on-2. New Day's beating up one Us, the Brutes beating up the other Us. And then Zayn and Solo come out, even it up, turns into a brawl. Ultimately, the Bloodline is on top. So they did announce next SmackDown, it's either going to be Usos or the Brutes versus New Day because, the Usos are defending their titles at Crown Jewel. We get Natalya versus Shayna Baszler. Baszler is now finding her killer instinct again. She's aligned with Ronda. She betrayed Natalya, I think it was last week or the week before. Once again, it's basically Shayna going back to her old ways. So, of course, she was vicious. After the match, she hit Natalya with a nasty knee after the match and busted her shit. Just Natalya's just nose was just busted. But I wonder where this is going to lead because if Shayna's becoming more vicious and more angry, I would assume at some point she's going to want that belt. And Ronda has that belt. We shall see where that goes. Strowman ran through like 5 random talent. Like apparently the match didn't even happen. He just steamrolled them. And then eventually MVP came out. He was beating up MVP. He hit P with was it 3 power slams? Yeah, I think it was 3 power slams he hit P with. So we'll see where that goes as far as tonight or today, rather, with Crown Jewel. Main event time. Intercontinental Championship match. We have Rey Mysterio versus the champ, Gunther. Gunther comes out by himself, Ray. Now, when you looking at this on paper, you're like, Gunther gonna kill that man. But they did a very good job, of course, little man, big man match. If you familiar with Ray, he's very familiar with little man, big man matches. And this was no different. Um, Once again, it gave that feeling in the air that you knew the title wasn't going to change, but damn, they still gave a good match. Yes, it was a good match. If anything on SmackDown is worth watching, I would say maybe the New Day Bruce Bloodline segment, and definitely this, and maybe the Liv Morgan and Sonya Deville match. But definitely this is worth matching because Ray gave it his all. There was a few false finishes. Ray even kicked out of Gunther's powerbomb. But Gunther finished that match off with a nasty lariat. He took the 619, recovered from it. Or was he about? No, he was about to take the 619. Sorry, he was about to take the 619, recovered from it with a big boot. Then to where he grabbed Ray's arm, pulled him off the ground, and just clotheslined him back down. Kind of something similar to what JD Madonna does with his Devlin Inside, where he lifts up and then boom, hits the suplex. He lifted Ray up and just clotheslined him right down. It was like, God damn. But yeah, Gunther is still champion. Kind of makes me wonder who's next for Gunther and who's ultimately going to take that belt off of Gunther. But yeah, that was SmackDown. Like I said, it was the SmackDown before Crown Jewel, the Go Home show. Sprinkle in, they had segments, they were showing the Roman and Jake Paul stuff, Rock and Bobby, the not damage control so much, but Bayley and Bianca. So, they was throwing in little segments here and there. Like I said, it was a tape show. So that was SmackDown all together. Next up, we have AEW Rampage. And to kick off that, we had the AEW All Atlantic Championship match with Katsuyori Shibata versus Orange Cassidy. Same thing. Like, it didn't feel like a title change was going to happen. Not that it wasn't a bad match, but it didn't feel like a title change. Ultimately, Orange hits the orange punch. 1, 2, 3, him and Shibata show respect. He even put the sunglasses on. Shibata, happy endings. Tony Storm gives an interview about going against Jamie Hayter and, why Hayter is being the way she is, that Dr. Baker is influencing her negatively, things like that. The BCC, Blackpool Combat Club, gets an interview, and Claudio and Danielson are basically like, hey, we're tired of the fact that Jericho has this Ring of Honor championship. And not only that, but Claudio was like, I'm your next challenger. How about that? Then Danielson was like, hey, I feel the same way. I'm your next challenger. And Regal was like, well, there you go, Jericho. You have Claudio and you have Danielson. Who you gonna pick? I'll get to that in a minute. Jamie Hayter, Dr. Baker, DMD versus Sky Blue and Madison Rain. Sky Blue and Madison Rain. They wasn't gonna win this one. Let's just be honest. Of course, they're really building up Hayter. Like, not to say that Dr. Baker's really taking a back seat, but you can definitely tell that they're trying to use Baker's star power to build up Jamie, because Jamie was the more dominant one in the match. And if I remember correctly, she was the one that got the 1, 2, 3. And afterwards, they started beating up Blue and Rain. And then I forgot how Dr. Baker got taken out. But Tony Storm comes out there. She decks Rebel. and her and Jamie gets into it, and they just get into a scuffle. And I'm trying to remember what happened to Dr. Baker with all of that. But yeah, Hater and Storm get into a scuffle. And eventually, of course, it was a pull apart. Now, to circle back, Jericho was like, look, I'm the Ring of Jericho champion. I'm the Ocho, all of that. Look at, how about I fight both of y'all? Because hell, I know at this point, y'all don't even like each other at the Blackpool Combat Club. So how about this? Not only am I going to fight both of y'all, but I'm going to guarantee my chances. I'm going to add Sammy Guevara. So that way, it'll be four of us. So Sammy Guevara, Claudio, Danielson, and Jericho, fatal four-way for the Ring of Honor Championship at All Out. I mean, All Out, at Full Gear. And Jericho even mentions, yeah, and after you two idiots in the Blackpool Combat Club beat the hell out of each other, Sammy, you know what to do. And Sammy kind of gave that look like, I might want that belt too, fam. So, uh, we'll see how that goes, because Guevara gave that look like. And then to wrap that up, Guevara did another interview with Schiavone, and he was Schiavone kind of asked, what was that look you gave? And he was like, fam, ain't got nothing to do with that. My thing is with Danielson. I want to fight Danielson in a two out of three falls match on Dynamite. And then that way we could truly see who's the better man. So Dynamite, Danielson, Guevara, 2 out of 3 falls. Starks gives an interview basically saying that, he wants to be the man now. Like, he wants to be the man. He wants to be the champion. So he's entering in the title eliminator for the number one contendership. And he basically is guaranteeing that he's going to be number one contender after Full Gear. So we'll see where that goes. And the full bracket is out. Trying to remember all the names, but I know Ethan Page, Dante Martin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Roosh, Bandito. I feel like there's like one other person I'm missing. But yeah, those are the contenders. Those are the 8 men that will determine who will be number one contender after Full Gear. Then the main event, you had your Gates of Agony. You had the Gates of Agony, Toa and Quan with Prince Nana versus Warjo, Samoa Joe and Wardlow. I mean, standard beefy boy brawl. Big beefy boy brawl, because there was a lot of beef in that ring between those 4 men. There's a lot of beef. Big meaty men slapping meat. Warjo wins. More or less, Wardlow is pissed off at the fact that Hobbs keep attacking him. But it was an interesting moment because after the match was over with, Hobbs comes out, Hobbs music plays, and Hobbs comes out, he's in at the apron, and Wardlow kind of pushes Joe out the way. And in the back, you see Samoa Joe looking at Wardlow like, sir, did you just lay your hands on me in a aggressive manner? And it kind of looked like Wardlow. It kind of looked like Samoa Joe was about to Coquita clutch that man or something. But eventually, after they had to stare down, Joe kind of comes up to him and was like, fam, it's all good. You get your shot at him. You get your shot. But yeah, that was Rampage. Like I said, on the road to full gear. 4 gears in 2 weeks. They building everything up. I mean, as of right now, we have the Fatal 4-Way for the Ring of Honor Championship. We got Storm versus Hater. We have, of course, MJF and Mox. Swerve and Our Glory versus the Acclaimed 3. What else? The finals for the title eliminator number one contendership. Whatever called it. I think I called it something completely different just now. I think those are the only matches so far for Full Gear. So yeah, I said Full Gear's in 2 weeks. So and everything right now is building up to it. That's it. Rampage, Smackdown. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens at Crown Jewel. We'll see what happens on Dynamite next week. But I'm your boy Scootaloo. Shouts out to Juggs. Shouts out to Dizzle. Shouts out to Jaeger. Shouts out to the tag team out there. Shout out to Tag Nation. All of y'all like that. Until next time, tag out.